I loved it very much. I love the people. But like getting there my first night, like I met my trainer and she didn't speak a lot of English. So like we get there and I was still in the whole culture shock thing because they ate pizza with ketchup and mayonnaise on it. And yeah, it's really good, but it was so weird. And so I think for the first like transfer, so like I was still like just getting used to everything and processing and like fighting the feelings of wanting to go home. And so I don't know, there's so many memories, but the people were so great. Like it was about a 20-minute bus ride from the city center. So it wasn't like overly populated, but there were still a lot of people around us. And I remember like here in America, like nobody sits on the street. Nobody really like, people say hi to you in the street, but they're not like, hey, how's it going? And so when I got there, it was definitely adjustment because people like at night they just bring their chairs out and they sit on the sidewalk and they just talk, or they have barbecues, or like they let their kids play, and like that's what they do. They just talk. And it's really cool because it like creates the sense of community. So every night people would just be bringing these chairs out. You'd be walking down the road, they'd be like, hey girls, come over here. Like, what are you doing? Why are you out walking around? Like, and they would, even if they weren't interested in like hearing all of the lessons, they would at least let us explain why we were there and like give like a condensed version of the first lesson or about the restoration. And so it was really cool because they were very open. Like they never really wanted to change. They were just like, oh, that's really nice, but I'm Catholic. And I'm like, okay. But they would just like sincerely want to know why we were there, and they would want to be our friend. Like they would invite us to stuff. They're like, oh yeah, we're having a birthday party for my son in like a week. Do you guys want to come? And we're like, you just met us like 5 minutes ago. But most of the time we had to say no because we weren't really supposed to. But it was really cool. They were just super open. The members were fantastic. They put up with my really, really bad American accent. And with all the things, just like coming with a new missionary. And we were opening that area too. Like everywhere but one of my areas we opened. And so like we were trying to figure out what the elders had been working on, and we were going through the area book, and I was learning Portuguese, and like I wasn't used to walking around all day. So there were a ton of factors, but there were 2 people in that ward who, they were both less active, but they both spoke English really well. And so I felt really blessed because whatever my companion couldn't tell me, because she spoke a little bit of English, like we could go to them and they could explain it to me in English, and then it would make more sense in Portuguese. But they're so great. I love that area. And like it was the first time I'd ever been exposed to they're called salgados, and they're just like street food. And so there are things called pastel, which is pretty much like a thin crusted hot pocket and deep fried. So good. And coxinhas, which is like this little raindrop shape of like, they have chicken in the middle and then it's just dough and it's breaded and deep fried. Oh my gosh, it's so good. And so whenever we would have like a bad day or something, we'd go pick up this less active who we really wanted to be active again. And we'd like bring her with us. We're like, hey, where's the best place to get like coxinhas or pastel? And she would like take us and we would just eat it there. And like we'd meet people and just talk to them. We'd go to the parks in the morning. Yeah. But it was also really nice because we lived with 2 other sisters and one of them was American. And so when I was just having like this Portuguese overload, like she'd be like, sister, it's okay. Stop freaking out. Like you're going to be fine. It's okay. And she was really cool. She helped me through a lot of stuff. So like the first couple weeks were really, really hard. And then when they moved in, it got a little bit easier because like my companion and the other sister would translate for us. And so we were able to like, until I got the hang of it, we were able to communicate a little better. And she was so patient with me. Oh my gosh, so patient. Once I realized like how hard, like how stubborn I was being, I was like, oh my gosh, I am so sorry. Like I didn't mean to do that. But it wasn't until like 10 months later that I realized that when I was training, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I totally understand her now.